Picture this. It's 1943, and German soldiers, captured in the deserts of North Africa or the fields of France, are loaded onto American trucks, their hearts pounding with dread. Nazi propaganda warned them of torture, starvation, or worse if they fell into enemy hands. Yet here they are, offered cigarettes and water by guards who crack jokes instead of cracking whips. This can't be right. It must be a trap. But as they're shipped across the Atlantic to prison camps in America, something even stranger awaits. Hot meals, clean beds, and, unbelievably, movie nights under the glow of a projector. Where are you right now? What time is it there? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you're gripped by stories of war's hidden surprises, hit like and subscribe. This tale of German POWs and Hollywood films will challenge everything you thought you knew about captivity. These soldiers grew up on horror stories about the Allies. They expected beatings, forced labor, or medical experiments in American camps. Instead, they're loaded onto ships or trains, not filthy cattle cars, but proper transports with air and space. Guards watch them closely, but don't scream or strike. They're handed white bread, meat, even coffee, food better than the stale rations they got back home. Whispers ripple through the men. Why feed us like this? Are they saving us for something worse? Suspicion hangs heavy, fueled by years of propaganda painting Americans as ruthless barbarians. As they cross the ocean, staring at endless waves, they feel small, powerless, far from the Reich they fought for. America, to them, was a distant land of skyscrapers and jazz, not a place they'd see as prisoners. When they reach the U.S., the sheer scale of everything hits them like a shockwave. Harbors buzz with cranes, cities stretch wide, highways snake through fields that seem to go on forever. From truck windows, they see small towns with glowing neon signs, gas stations, and kids waving at the convoy. Locals gawk, curious but not hateful, as if these prisoners are just passers-by. The soldiers can't wrap their heads around it. If this is the land of their enemy, how is it so calm, so abundant? Back in Germany, they fought with dwindling supplies, scraping by on black bread and broth. Here, even the countryside screams wealth. The camps are another surprise. No muddy pits or crumbling sheds, just neat rows of barracks, mess halls, even medical clinics. Barbed wire surrounds them, sure, but inside are bunks with real mattresses, stoves for warmth, and clean uniforms. The men brace for cruelty, but instead, they're processed efficiently, given soap, toothpaste, and writing paper from the Red Cross. They can write home, censored, but still a lifeline to families they thought they'd lost. Meals stun them: meatloaf, potatoes, beans, milk, sometimes fruit. One soldier mutters, "This is better than my mother's cooking." Another refuses to eat at first, sure the food's drugged, but hunger wins. They sit stunned as their stomachs fill, something they haven't felt in months. What would you do? Expecting torture but getting a hot meal? Would you trust it or wait for the catch? Comment below. Let's talk. Discipline is strict. Roll calls, curfews, no nonsense. But punishments are confinement, not violence. Guards chat casually, rifles slung loosely, more focused on order than cruelty. The prisoners whisper at night, lying on their bunks. Is this really a prison? Some still expect a trap, but others start to wonder if the Nazis lied about America. The camps, scattered across the American South, Midwest, or West, feel like small towns. Beyond the fences, farmers work fields, and prisoners sometimes join them under guard, hauling hay or picking fruit. Civilians don't spit or curse. They wave or share bread with the guards. It's bewildering. These men fought to crush the Allies, yet here they're treated like workers, not monsters. Then comes the real shock. Movie nights. Guards announce screenings in mess halls or open fields, setting up projectors and hanging white sheets. The Germans can't believe it. They expected propaganda or punishment, not entertainment. But as the lights dim, the screen flickers with cowboys riding across deserts, comedians tripping over their own feet, or singers dancing in dazzling costumes. For men raised on Nazi films, stiff parades and speeches about glory, this is a different world. Laughter spills out, hesitant at first, then loud. Hardened soldiers clap at slapstick gags. Others sit wide-eyed at musicals bursting with color. For 2 hours, the barbed wire fades, and they're just men watching stories. It feels like a dream. The films aren't what they expected. No lectures, no heavy-handed propaganda, just tales of adventure, romance, and humor. They see ordinary Americans on screen, joking, flirting, defying bosses, chasing dreams. It's nothing like the Reich's rigid worldview, where obedience was everything. One soldier whispers, "They mock their own leaders in these movies." Another nods. And they're not afraid. It's unsettling. Nazi propaganda called America chaotic, corrupt. But these films show a land of freedom and possibility, where even the poor can rise. Newsreels slip in too, showing American factories churning out tanks, ships, and planes. The prisoners, who fought with broken rifles and empty stomachs, feel their hearts sink. How can Germany beat this? The screenings are voluntary, but the halls fill every time. Men who could stay in the barracks, playing cards or writing letters, rush to grab seats. They start trading names of actors. Charlie Chaplin, John Wayne, mimicking lines, humming tunes. A young recruit admits, "I forgot I was a prisoner last night." For some, it feels like betrayal to enjoy enemy culture, but the pull is too strong. Officers try to dampen the excitement, calling it propaganda, but even they can't resist a chuckle at a comedy. The films chip away at their beliefs. They see women on screen, confident and witty, so different from the controlled roles back home. They see underdogs win, communities unite, ideas the Reich crushed. It plants doubts. Was everything we were told a lie? At night in the dim barracks, conversations shift. Men who once bragged about German victory now talk about movies. "Did you see that cowboy shoot?" One laughs. Another says, "Their women talk back. What kind of place is this?" The films spark debates about freedom, humor, even democracy. Some cling to pride, insisting it's all a trick to weaken them. Others quietly feel their worldview crack. They write home, careful with words, hinting at strange entertainments that make captivity bearable. Families in bombed-out Germany can't imagine it. Movies for prisoners? It sounds like madness. As months pass, the screenings become a lifeline. Work fills their days, farming, fixing fences, but evenings bring escape. Soccer games and chessboards appear in camps, even small orchestras playing Mozart under the stars. But nothing matches the projector's glow. The men, once soldiers of a crumbling Reich, find themselves changed. They laugh easier, argue about ideas, not just orders. They notice their health improving, clean clothes, regular showers, no lice. They're stronger than they were in battle, a bitter truth. The films show them a world where people chase dreams, not just survival, and it sticks with them. When the war ends in 1945, the prisoners board ships back to Germany, a land of rubble and hunger. They stand on the decks, the ocean stretching behind them, and talk about what they'll miss: the food, the games, the movies. "No one will believe we watched Hollywood," one says. Another nods. How do we explain laughing while our homes burned? Back in Germany, they tell their stories, and families listen, stunned. A father describes a musical's bright colors. A brother recalls a cowboy's swagger. Some face accusations of disloyalty, but the memories burn bright. Those nights reshaped them. They saw America not through a rifle's sights, but through a screen's glow, a place of humor, hope, and humanity. Years later, historians hear the same refrain. The movies stood out. Not the battles or the hunger, but the nights when enemies became spectators. Some veterans admit the films softened their hate, showing them a culture that valued laughter and dreams over rigid control. In post-war Germany, as American culture floods in, these men become quiet bridges, sharing stories of comedies and westerns with kids hungry for something new. The screenings didn't just entertain, they planted seeds of change, helping some embrace a democratic future. Want more stories of war's unexpected moments? Subscribe for the next one, dropping soon. Comment below, could you laugh in captivity? How would movies change your view of an enemy? Let's keep this history alive.